All right, thank you, Ms. Ashley. And as Ashley said, thank you everyone for joining us. Today's webinar on the Hagerman QVP connection. At any time throughout the broadcast, if you have questions, as she mentioned there in the questions panel, just type those in and we will address those at the end during the Q&A session. So what is QVP? Well, it stands for Query, View, and Print. And the Hagerman QVP connection software is your own personal thin client to your data management software. Now with Vault Professional, there's a desktop client called the thick client, and then a web client called the thin client, but you only get it with Vault Professional. Well, the QVP works with Windows Explorer, Vault Basic, Vault Workgroup, Accrue at Meridian. It is a customizable search interface that we can set up any of the search criteria that you desire from any of your searchable properties in Vault, and then we can also tweak the return screen as well, so you're only seeing the properties that are important to you. We can have as many pages or a single page inside the searching interface that you desire, so purchasing, shop floor personnel, maintenance crew, sales, they can have their own page there as well, so they only have to filter through 2 properties or 6 properties, and they only see the results that are important to them. So how do we view those files? Well, because it's Query, View, and Print, it's read-only access, so it's not checking any files out. You can't make any changes and check them back in. But when we open the files, it opens with the Windows file associations to that specific file type. So if it's a DWG file and you have AutoCAD, it's going to open with AutoCAD. If you don't have AutoCAD, you can use the DWG TrueView, which is a free viewer from Autodesk. If it's an Inventor file, you can use Inventor. If you have Inventor, you can use Inventor View, the free viewer from Autodesk as well, or you can also use Inventor Read Only, which is a free viewer from Autodesk as well that started with the Inventor 2020 release. So if it's a PDF file, you've got your Adobe Reader or whatever your PDF file association is, all we need is this web link, and it's http:// whatever your server name is /QVP/web client. And as long as you're on your server access, VPN, remote desktop, local internet, whatever it is, you've got access to your searching database. So you can save this as a favorite, a shortcut, or email it to anyone, and they can save it. And anytime they click on that link, it's a live look in right to the file store. You start searching, it's going to show the files just as fast as they're put into Vault. They're searchable and ready to be found. So a couple of screenshots of the interface here, and this is just a simple one. On the left hand side, I've got a file name, a description, a material, and an application version. These can be pull down lists that you can pick from. These can be text entries where we can enter the text we're looking for. We do have a wildcard we can use, but in this case here, in this screenshot, I'm just looking for the numbers 1 and 2, number 12. And I hit 12, I hit enter on the keyboard, or I hit search on the left-hand side of the screen here, and it shows me that I only have 5 files in the Vault. I'm looking at 1 of 5 that have 12 inside the file name. So whether it's 12.ipt, in this case here it's 6220-12 or exercise 12 or 012, whatever it is, it's only looking for that 1 and 2, and that's what it's showing me there. So the more information I can put in on the searching side, which is the left-hand side here, the fewer results I'm going to get as it's starting to filter that out. But in this case here, I'm just looking for 12. It says, okay, you've got 5 records in your Vault that have the number 12 in it. If I'm looking at the material, which in this case is a pull-down menu, so I can see steel, mild, stainless steel 440, aluminum, titanium, gold, any of the files that are in the Vault that have a property in the material field would be listed in my pull-down menu here. So in this case, I'm only looking at the generic material, so now I can go in and see, all right, how many files are in my Vault that have a generic material, which probably means the user didn't apply the material, or they're using a standard template that doesn't have a material applied, just using the generic. But in my results here, I'm seeing 38 of them. Now, by default, it's only going to show 20 results at one time. We can expand this to show 20, 40, 60, or 100 at one time on one screen, or we can toggle through to the next screen and whatnot. So Let's go look at the software. And this is Internet Explorer that I'm looking. It works with Firefox, Google Chrome, Edge, any of your web browsers that you've got. As long as you've got the link, it's going to work if you're connected to the server. So I have my link here. I'm using localhost because I'm directly on my machine that runs as my server. But otherwise, I would just have my server name written in here or typed in here, and then QVP and web client. It's showing me how I'm connected. I'm connected to the Hagerman domain as my Mark Dooley user. And then here inside my left-hand side of the screen is my search criteria. And so now I can just start typing. If I'm looking for a specific file, if I'm looking for a specific material. Using Inventor files, I like to use the application version so I can see which files haven't been migrated. So if I hit this little pull down, I can see that inside my vault, I have Inventor files all the way back to release 2017 SP1. And then I have some with 2018, 2019, 2020, 2020.2, 2021. And so I can say, you know what? How many files do I have that are still on 2020 out of the box? Well, I hit search, and I have 50 of those. So down here in the lower right-hand corner, it's showing me that I'm looking at one of 20, and there's 50 total records. So again, I can say, you know what? I want to look at all of these. Let me just change this up to 100, and now all of these are listed out at one time. So now I can see these files on the results side here. I've got file name, part number, designer, description, if there's a description, a state, if they've got a, I'm using Vault Pro in the background, so if they have a lifecycle state assigned to them, review, released, archived, obsolete, quick change, it would show my state out here. So if I wanted to look at one of these files, no matter which one it is, I can just scroll down through here and say, you know what? The little eyeglass here, I want to go look at the tube hanger part. I hit the little eyeglass, that's going to open it up for me, or it's going to prompt Internet Explorer to open it. And with IE, you get the options here. Do you want to open it? Do you want to save as, save and open? I'm just going to hit open. And then in the background, it's going to launch Inventor, and this is going to open the file here for me. So very quickly, I can look for the file, find the file, I can open and view the file. You know, I've got Inventor here, so I've got more tools than you would have with Inventor Read Only or Inventor View. I can come in here and it's read-only access, so I can even come in here and add a shape to it. Let's do something fairly simple here. And if I go to save this, it's going to tell me access is denied because it's a read-only copy. So I can't make any changes. I can't check it back in because I didn't check it out. It's just read-only access to my file store. It's pulling the file. It's pulling it out here in a local spot. It's going, hey, this file can't be saved because you don't own it. I'm only looking at the record there, which is read-only access from my QVP software. So I can come back over here. If I want to clear it, I just hit clear. Now, I have a couple of pages here. So my first one is just my main vault. The second one I've got set up for the shop floor. It only looks for file name, material, and description. And then description, material, and part number is all that's listed out here on the right in the results area. So I can change this and say, you know what, let's go look at steel mild. And I don't have any in there anymore. I did it one time. I've removed those or I've changed the material. What about titanium? Well, I've got two of those. So I've got one that is a C-clip, and I've got one that's part 2. And the same thing, if I want to open this file, I hit view file. IE refreshes or flashes real quick and says, do you want to open, save as? If I want to save it for later, I'm traveling this week and I need to take this file with me, but I can hit open, and then very quickly there inside of Inventor, the file opens for me as well. Rotate it around, take measurements, look at it. If it's a DWG file and I need to do a look at the bill of material for costing or estimating purposes, I can open that up in AutoCAD or DWG TrueView as we're going through those there, but it's just a customizable search interface that ties directly into your Vault database. So it's easy to work with, easy to set up. So I'm going to leave it open here in the background. But looking at the QVP configurator here, I have 2 searching configurations, which are my active connections here. So I have the MD Vault and the shop floor. And if I wanted to add a new one, say for the sales department, let's come in here and say, all right, we're going to add a new configuration. It's telling me it's not configured, which is fine. We're going to call it sales. what engine are we going to use? What are we searching with? Is it Vault? Is it Meridian? Is it the Windows file system? Is it Adept? So I'm going to go with Vault. And then I've got to go tell it where my vault is stored, the name of the vault that I'm going to be looking at, which houses all my files, where the file store is. And again, this is a server-based. You don't have to do this on every machine. This has to be done on the server itself. And then anytime the link is refreshed, the web page is refreshed, or the link is selected, if it's not currently open, it is going to automatically refresh. And so we'll go into Autodesk here, and then down to Vault Server, where my file store is, and then there's my Vault folder. So it sees it there. I'm going to hit Test Connection. It's going to tell me yes or no. In this case, yes. It's in the Vault Pro version 26.0, which is 2021. And so I hit Apply, hit Save there, and I'm going to apply it here. Save changes, yes. And so now I have a new configuration. Well, I don't have anything showing right now. So my search is blank, my return is blank. If I come back here, I'm going to hit F5 real quick to refresh this. And if I look at the sales side, it's empty because I don't have anything in there yet. So now we can come over here to this side and add this. So you know what? Let's add our search criteria. And what is something that maybe the sales team would look for, or the sales manager would look for? Maybe it's project. And so we'll come down here and say, let's look at project. And how are we going to search by the project? So it could be a text box. It could be unique values. I like using the pull down menus, and if it's a sales guy, I'm wanting to be able to pull by project number. Maybe I'll just come in here and say, you know what, it's in a list of values, and we'll save that there. And let's give them maybe a part number. Then we'll search by part number. Scroll on down here to part number, and this one can be a text box, and we'll say this one contains. So anything you enter in here, any character you enter in there, we'll look for it. And then what we're going to look for on the return side. So if we're going to look for project and part number, maybe we worry about description, or maybe we want to see who the designer was. So we can add as few of these or as many of these as we want. So we'll add description. We can throw author in there. That is an inventor I property that's used a lot. We can even throw company in there. I probably don't have many in my vault that have a company value, but we'll return those as well. So now I've added project and part number to search by, description, author, and company as a return. The file name is going to be a default there, so it's going to show up as well. It's kind of empty here in the background. So I'm not even going to close the configurator. Come back over here, hit F5 real quick, go back to my sales. Here's my project. I have at least five project values in my vault. And so if I'm looking at the 10U, 12U, and I hit search, I'm seeing one file. If I go to project BB and I hit search, I see one file. And so it's showing me each one of these. Here's the author. It didn't affect anything else. They're all still here. I come over to my vault real quick, just kind of show how fast this will work. Let's see here. Let's grab several of these files. We will come down and grab the project property, and we will edit these. And we'll just throw some different projects in there. So I'm going to add 3 more to the AA project. I'm creating a new value for BBB, CCC, and a whole bunch of Ds there. So I'll hit OK. This has updated fairly quickly on the vault side. We'll come over here. It's still looking at the old one. All I got to do is refresh. Back to sales. There are my new projects that have just been added. So I didn't add new files to the vault. I just modified the properties. And so if I come in and say, all right, let's go look at this one. There's the one file right there, exercise 9. So I know it's part of this project. I know who designed it. If there was a company or a description assigned to it, it would be displayed right here. If I go back to the AA, there are the new files that were added with the AA project. So very quickly, everything updates right in the background there. All we have to do is refresh. If we had multiple revisions, and I had revisions set up, there would be another column right here that would show the revisions of these files. So we could go look at Rev A, Rev B, Rev C, or Rev 1, 2, 3, whichever it is. So everything that exists inside the vault that is searchable, we can have searchable right here inside of QVP. And it's simple, easy to use, easy to customize interface, and we just display it out to the users via a web link. The only thing that is required for access on the viewing side is you have to have a Vault user that has access to those files, read access that is, because they can't write to anything, by the name that you're logged into the computer. So in my case, I'm logged in as Mark Dooley. Inside my Vault, I have a user named Mark Dooley. I have access, I can look at the Vault. If I was logged in as Mark.Dooley or M.Dooley, I would change my username to match that so that when it pulls up, it's saying, okay, it's recognized. You have a machine here that is connected to the domain and recognizing this user, and then we are good to go. I can search. I can add my shop floor guys, my maintenance guys. So I can come in and search for anything right here. Doesn't matter which one it is. Now, I mentioned earlier we have a wildcard. And the wildcard character inside of QVP is the % sign. So if I just typed in % and hit enter there, there's 190 files in my vault that have a value in the file name, which means I have 190 files in my vault, which is a very small vault, but I use it for demo purposes, and so I only have 190 files in there. But that % wildcard will also work to separate characters out. So if I put a 6 and a %, do a 6, a %, a 2, and a %, and now we're it down. And so now it's only looking at a 6 and a 2 in that order. And so everywhere in a file, by the file name, that it has a 6 and a 2, so in this case it could be 6-2, it could be 6 part of the 20. On this JPEG here, I've got a 6 right here, and then somewhere down through here, probably in the tail end of the file name, there's a 2, so it's looking in that order based off how I put them. So there's the 2 right there. So we can use the wildcards to search for those. We can type in what we're looking for. We can make any value a pull down. We can tweak what the return fields look like. If I come back over here and say, all right, so on the MD one, you guys didn't like looking at state. All right, well, we'll get rid of state. How fast does it take to get rid of state? We'll hit refresh and state is gone. So part number, designer, description are all that's left. So we'll come in here and say, let's add one more, and let's add material. So we'll come down real quick. We'll hit material, hit apply, yes to save it, refresh again, and now I've got material over here. So no matter which file I pick, or if I use the wildcard again, it's going to show me, all right, so these are still comma mild, and I'm looking at 190, so let's look at 100 at a time. And so we can scroll down, and there's the generic, there's my aluminum 5005, 6061, there was titanium, and we can go to the next page. There's another still mild, titanium, more generic, aluminum 7075. So I can see each one of those. So as we make changes to the configurator, they're live for the end user. All they have to do is refresh it or click on the link again, and we're good to go. All right, so very short, didn't take up too much of your guys' time. That is QVP in a nutshell, but it is a live read-only look directly into your Vault database. And now, if we have any questions, we'll take it over to the Q&A side. Hopefully you guys aren't asleep on me because I don't have any questions in there. Hopefully you've got at least one question coming my way here. All right, looks like someone is typing, so I'm going to tinker around with QVP for another second or two here, see if any questions come in. Oh, so there's one. Do you need to have Vault? You do not have to have Vault. It will work with all three of the Vault levels of products, the basic, the workgroup, and the professional, as well as Meridian. It will also work with Windows Explorer. So no, you do not have to have Vault itself. We'll work with any of those, Meridian, Vault Basic, Vault Workgroup, Vault Pro, or you can tie it into your Windows Explorer for searching as well, if that's how you're currently searching for files. Here is another one. Pop that out so I can expand that. Does it require a Vault license? It does not consume a Vault license. So if you're working with Vault, it's read-only access. It is not consuming a license. There's no reserving of license, no checking out or borrowing a license. As long as that user has access to your Vault, you're good to go. So let me come over to my global settings here real quick. And so my users, I have a user in my Vault named Mark Dooley. That's how I log into my Vault. And so that's what it's actually looking for. Bring back up here. So it's looking at the Hagerman domain and then how I'm logged into my computer. So as long as that computer name matches a Vault username, you have rights to search inside the database. So is there an additional cost for this software? So this is a Hagerman proprietary software. We do sell it in blocks of 10 seats and then 25. It's customizable. So if you only needed 3 seats, we would work something out for 3 seats. There is a maintenance fee for the upgrade to the next level of Vault if you're upgrading your Vault database, or if you're staying on the same database, no big deal. But I personally, I'm the tech guy. I don't keep up with the costing of those things, but I can have Ken or Andrew or Tiffany or Rob, someone follow up with you there, Miss Lori, on costing questions there. But it is very inexpensive, especially when compared to buying Vault professional seats to have access to the thin client. Very low cost, very minimal maintenance. No updates throughout the year that you have to apply. There's no deployments going out to the clients. Just refreshing the link anytime you make a change to it. The next time they open it, they don't even know there were changes made. They just automatically appear. So everyone using this software, would they need a seat? Well, it's primarily for non-CAD access, because typically your CAD users would have access to the Vault if they were Vault or Meridian, if that's what they're working with. But if you had, 2 project managers, 1 sales guy, 1 shop floor guy that needed access to it, those machines themselves would need a license. Each user would not need a license at each machine. But if you had 5 machines that would access this to be able to search it, then yes, 5 licenses would be required. If you had 4 people that were sharing that machine, 1 license on that machine is all that's required. It wouldn't take 4 different logins there. Just if they're sharing that machine, as long as how they're logged into that machine has access to the Vault, they would only need the 1 license for that. So I know we have some companies that in the paper mill industry, that they'll have non-CAD access for 50 different people that are in maintenance on 3 shifts or controls on 2 shifts that need to have access to it. And because the machines are being utilized in the control booth, they only have to have 2 seats inside the control room because both those machines always have access. And then the maintenance guys, they have 1 machine on the wet end of the paper mill and 1 machine on the dry end, so there's 2 licenses. So those 45 to 50 people are sharing those 4 licenses on those machines. All right, any other questions coming in? All right, Miss Ashley, looks like all the questions have calmed down there.
Okay, well, thank you, Mark, for the presentation, and thank you, everyone, for attending. If you think of additional questions later, you can always reply to that confirmation or reminder email you receive from GoToWebinar as well, and we can get those answered for you. A reminder that a survey will pop up as we close down today, and we just ask that you take a few moments to fill that out for us. And that's all. So thanks for attending, and have a great day, everyone.